In April 2026, an alert hit the threat intelligence network claiming a national digital perimeter had been breached. The messaging suggested a severe state-level compromise. The target was the Uruguayan Ministry of Environment. Specifically, attackers had compromised the primary ambiente.gov.ui domain and an integrated platform used for electronic sworn statements. We know about this incident from this X post by Dark Web Intelligence. The group responsible replaced the government homepage with a splash screen blaring "Ministry of Environment of Uruguay hacked," capped off with a generic hacktivist slogan demanding an end to global war. But the severe aesthetics mask a hollow technical reality. This was a superficial web defacement. The attackers altered the outward-facing HTML, but they did not breach the underlying database, steal citizen records, or gain backend access. In the threat intelligence space, there is often a reliable inverse relationship between how loudly an attacker broadcasts a breach and the actual technical damage they have inflicted. Real state-sponsored intrusions prioritize stealth. Activists prioritize volume. Yet, the most revealing aspect of this incident is not the loud public claim made by the attackers. It is the target government's reaction to it. Following the defacement, the official channels of the Uruguayan authorities produced a complete communicational void. No public statements, no media briefings, and no acknowledgement of the event. In the modern threat landscape, the target institution's silence creates a larger operational risk than the technical compromise itself. State-level cyber defense relies on demonstrating operational control. When a government fails to publicly acknowledge a visible breach, it broadcasts institutional fragility. It tells observers that the state's incident response pipeline is either too slow to detect the issue or too paralyzed to communicate about it. Ignoring superficial cyber noise actively degrades public trust. A citizen logging in to file a sworn statement and finding a hacktivist manifesto sees an unmanaged official site, which erodes the credibility of the state's digital services. To understand why a rapid public response was required, we have to perform a granular analysis of the intelligence report to see exactly what the attackers achieved. Looking back at the Dark Web Intelligence post, we can identify the specific technical indicators of the compromise. Under the evidence section, the analysts note that the attackers dropped text files directly onto the Uruguayan government domains. They then archived their work on Zone H. Zone H is a well-known defacement tracking platform where low-tier hacktivists build reputations by logging links to sites they have successfully vandalized. Shifting down to the analyst's assessment, we get the clearest picture of the attack's severity. There is explicitly no direct evidence of data exfiltration, nor is there evidence of a backend infrastructure compromise. This distinction is critical. The attackers gained enough administrative access to change the website's display layer, but they failed to bypass the security protocols protecting the actual data servers behind that web layer. The text files dropped on the servers act as proof of access markers. This is a standard tactic in cosmetic defacements, functioning purely as a digital signature to verify the group was actually there. The forensic evidence identifies this as a low-impact stunt engineered entirely for visibility. It lacks the hallmarks of an operation designed for intelligence extraction or persistent infrastructure control. The group seeking that visibility was identified in the report as NullSec Philippines. NullSec Philippines is a small, regional hacktivist crew. Their established operational footprint consists heavily of targeting localized government platforms and school websites across Southeast Asia, with occasional campaigns directed at China. A Filipino group launching a targeted operation against a South American environmental ministry is a severe geographic and strategic anomaly. There is no natural geopolitical overlap between the two.
Hitting Uruguay was an exercise in branching out. NullSec was demonstrating capability outside their usual time zone to build a broader reputation among allied groups like Anonymous Switzerland. However, their attempt to generate global attention yielded highly segregated results online. Analysis of the incident's dissemination shows the conversation was entirely restricted to a micro-ecosystem of threat intelligence accounts on X. Only specialized monitors like @DailyDarkWeb and VECER circulated the alerts to an audience of analysts. Outside that bubble, the event did not exist. 0 local Uruguayan news outlets reported on the breach, and no official government accounts made mention of it.
A technically superficial attack generated localized, highly specific data for security researchers, while remaining completely invisible to the mainstream public. That mainstream invisibility might seem like a successful outcome for a government trying to avoid bad press. But cybersecurity analyst Alberto Daniel Hill notes this passive approach is an active liability. The Ministry of Environment defacement did not happen in a vacuum. It occurred within Uruguay's highly active, high-friction cyber landscape. In 2024, Uruguayan infrastructure absorbed an average of one cyberattack every 30 minutes. State networks are under a relentless rhythm of automated probing, and those probes occasionally find purchase, resulting in severe real-world consequences, like the crippling ransomware attack that hit the Paysandú municipality. Leaving a hacked splash page online for citizens to stumble across creates psychological damage. It strips away the perception of digital competence, teaching the public that the government cannot defend its own digital borders. Beyond public perception, there is a strict operational danger. By failing to actively remediate the site, defenders leave a verified, unpatched vulnerability exposed. The attackers proved a door was open, and a state left it open. This creates the perfect condition for lateral movement. Once inside a system, attackers use their initial compromised endpoint to map the network and jump to adjacent, more secure servers. A cosmetic web defacement offers a secure, validated foothold. If the defenders do not rapidly locate the point of entry and lock it down, they invite the attackers to return, escalate their privileges, and extract data. Institutional silence and slow remediation do not project calm, they actively signal weakness, providing threat actors with the time and space needed to execute more sophisticated incursions. We are left with a severe asymmetry. Threat intelligence networks identify, analyze, and publish vulnerabilities in real time, while official state response channels remain paralyzed by static silence. The technical reality of the #StopWar incident is straightforward. A NullSec Philippines defacement is practically non-catastrophic. It requires standard cleanup, not a systemic rebuild. However, treating cosmetic defacements as just noise that can be safely ignored is a critical miscalculation in security protocol. In an era characterized by continuous, automated digital probing, silence is no longer a viable defense strategy for state actors. Immediate technical remediation is mandatory. The compromised website must be taken down, the outward-facing vulnerability patched, and the backend infrastructure forensically audited to confirm the attackers left no lingering access scripts. Crucially, this must be paired with immediate communicational remediation. The targeted institution must issue a transparent, official public statement detailing the scope of the attack and the steps taken to secure the system. Publicly acknowledging low-tier attacks demonstrates high-level operational control. It proves to both citizens and advanced persistent threat groups that the state's detection pipeline is active and its response mechanisms are decisive. Ultimately, ignoring surface-level noise does not make it disappear. It suggests a lack of operational readiness, allowing a minor technical failure to signal a broader gap in the state's incident response.